What's up, everyone? This is episode 8 of the sit down. We have quite a few things to talk about, including how to buy a record player or a turntable. We have some news items and some products that we want to talk about. My name is Mark,
I'm Joel.
and let's get the show started. This episode is brought to you by Kanto Audio. Kanto is a Canadian company that produces quality speakers and accessories like cables, TV, and speaker mounts. Their latest flagship model is the Kanto TUK, named after the remote Canadian hamlet Tuk. The speakers feature AMT tweeters, 13cm aluminum woofers, 65 watts per channel, and a wide range of input methods like RCA for a CD player, Bluetooth for your phone, Toslink optical input for your TV, and built-in phono stage, so setting up your turntable is easy peasy. Connecting them to Kanto's sub 6 or sub 8 subwoofers complete the full range sound that anyone will enjoy. They come in two colors, matte black and matte white, and they're available at Funky Moose Records via fmr.fm/tuk. That is fmr.fm/TUK. Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time you're listening or watching us. Hope you're doing good.
All the
This
cats and
coronavirus
kittens out
thing,
there.
all the cats and kittens. Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
start
right.
watching it?
I'm three deep right now.
Three? Yeah, I'm in episode 4 or 5 or whatever, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Unless you want to talk about
Yes.
his music. Just kidding.
Oh, God, no.
It was
Hey,
it was all fake.
apparently, yeah, he's not saying it himself, huh?
Oh, I could tell
Oh,
that right
hang on.
away.
Hey, stop. Hang on. So for the people that have been living under a rock for the past, I don't know, 2 weeks during this pandemic, Tiger King. It's a Netflix series about what's his name,
Joe Exotic.
Joe Joe Exotic.
Exotic.
That's what he calls himself. Yeah, and but he also made music. Apparently, you'll see that in the show. He made several CDs, and it's all about tigers and cats and kittens and
Yeah.
whatever. And
It's
it's
it's interesting. Let's go with that.
my
It's
wife
actually,
refuses to watch it.
I'll say it's very not exhilarating. What's the word I'm looking for? Stimulating. Like I don't think it's something you can watch like pepper it all out. After an episode or two, you're gonna be like you're gonna want to take a break because it's just there's too much shit going on, and
Right, but
it's a lot to take
at
in.
the end of yeah, but at the end of each episode, it's like, I kind of want to watch the next one because I want to know how this keeps going. But it's so stupid. It's like
It's
a train wreck. You can't help but watch,
yeah, right.
no matter how bad it is. Yeah.
Anyways, okay,
Anywho,
let's not talk about Tiger King.
too late.
Right. Um.
um, so we have some products, new products actually. So last week I talked about Aversions, the post punk band from Vancouver. Sent us a few records. They look very cool. They're gold transparent vinyl. I've added them to the website, so you can just search for Aversions and it'll show up. Supporting local as in Canadian. They're an indie band. They're not signed with a label. They release everything themselves, and we're just helping them sell their records. So there's that, and then we also have a couple of new sleeves in, and they're inner sleeves. Um, with the COVID-19 thing, the MoFi sleeves. Actually, I'm wearing a MoFi shirt right now. But the MoFi sleeves are unavailable until about next week. So I started looking for an alternative that we can sell in the meantime. Vinyl Storage Solutions is a company in Winnipeg, and they create. So the inner sleeves that they create are made in Canada. The 4 mil sleeves are produced with North American, so not 100% Canadian, but North American products.
What's what's
There's
the name of that? Vinyl what? Solutions?
vinyl storage solutions. Um, so yeah, they sent new supplies for sleeves. So if you're looking for sleeves, we have some available. Not everything is back in stock, but that should be this or next week. Speaking of suppliers, we also talked to the big three labels, so Warner, Sony, and Universal.
Oh yeah, you bet.
We already had accounts. Yeah, we already had accounts with Warner and Sony. But after a little bit of digging, I also connected with Universal, and we have an account with them too now. So that covers almost everything on the site when it comes to new records. New records.
Rockers.
Um, Records. So yeah, aside from a few indie labels that are shut down right now, pretty much everything can be stocked except for spin clean and groove washer items, I believe, from the top of my head. Um, there are a little bit of delays in the whole logistics world because of it. Normally, we would order from one supplier. Now we have to divide it over three suppliers. So either minimum order purchase orders, or that's not the word, minimum order quantities, or shipping rates cause a little bit of a delay in ordering. But overall, everything is readily available. And then you added some promotion.
Yeah, there was a sale that started on a turntable.
Hmm.
The LP60 XHP
Yep. And
dash
the HP
GM
stands for headphones.
headphones.
Yeah.
So
The
it comes
okay.
that means it comes with headphones, right?
Yeah. So the LP60X is the turntable. The HP stands for headphones, and the GM stands for gunmetal. That's the color.
Right. So yeah,
You will have
that's
to. Yeah, yeah. You tell me because I don't know.
well, I just the sale's going to be on for the next couple of weeks. It's basically $20 cheaper, I guess, for the next 2 weeks right
what
now.
what's the normal price and what is the sale
Oh,
price?
it's regular 199.99, and for the next 2 weeks it's 169.99.
Nice.
69.
Uh, all right. So a nice little turntable to get your feet wet with headphones. Um,
So I have a question
yes.
for you, Mark. This is
Hmm.
more your field, definitely, but somebody like me, we were talking a few weeks ago how like I don't have a turntable, right? And we
Right.
discussed why I'm not quite ready to commit to that at this point in time. But
Hmm.
if I was, like if I want to buy a turntable, would you suggest that like I just go because this one's on sale, it would be ideal to go out and buy this one right away? Or like what am I looking for when I'm new to the game, right? Like
It will depend on a lot of factors. Yeah, you can go to Best Buy, Staples, where else that is, Shoppers Drug Mart, big box stores. Pretty much everyone right now sells record players. Um, but you'll have to there's a bit of a guide what you should be keeping in mind. Like, for example, where and how are you going to listen? Like, for example, this LP60 with headphones is ideal for people that have a tiny desk, don't have room for speakers, um, live in a small apartment, or in, I don't know, a dorm room where you can't crank up the music too loud. So the headphones come in great, and the turntable itself is pretty small, so you can put it on a desk. You don't need any audio equipment. You just plug in the headphones and go.
well, how
But
small
if
is
you
small?
have
Like what would you say is small?
This one, I think is something like 14 or 15 inches wide. So the basic,
Just over a
the
foot.
record itself is 12 inches, give or take. Yeah, and then it has a little bit of room for the tone arm. So that would be 2 3 inches, something like that. Let's say 15 inches. I don't have the specifications here, but
Right.
15 inches wide, and then it's about the same deep. Um,
Are
and that
these
usually, I mean, not my desk, but it fits on most desks.
a newer turntable? Is there you know me, I'm not very tech savvy or anything, but could you get like a turntable that is like Bluetooth so that you could connect a set of Bluetooth headphones to the turntable or something like that?
Yeah. So this LP60X also comes in a Bluetooth version. So
Really?
if you have Bluetooth headphones, yep, you can, or a Bluetooth speaker, you can connect your turntable to
Yeah.
Bluetooth. But some people will say, well, that defeats the purpose of records because records are an analog format. And if you put that through Bluetooth, it'll be processed to go to your headphones or Bluetooth speaker. So it gets converted into a digital signal, which kind of defeats the purpose of listening to an analog signal. Um, so that's another question. Are you in it for, do you go to Value Village? Are you nostalgic? Do you want to listen to the music that you used to listen to when you were younger? And don't you really care about the sound quality? If you want to go to Value Village and you buy records for 250 or whatever they're worth there, and you just want to put it on a turntable and play and not care about um, the quality, then a turntable like an Audio Technica LP60, even the ones that you buy at Best Buy, although the ones for $99 or whatever, I wouldn't recommend them if you want life out of your audio system
Right.
because
Well,
they're all made out of plastic, so they won't last.
yeah.
So
Well,
if
and that
you
makes sense.
yeah, and if you so you also have to consider what is the real reason why you're buying a turntable. Are you buying because you love high fidelity sound, you want everything analog, and you want just top notch audio? Or, like I said, is it because of the whole ritual, taking it out of the sleeve, putting it on a turntable, giving it a wipe, but essentially the sound quality itself doesn't matter too much. It's more
Yeah.
about the ritual. Um, uh, yeah, so there's a difference in that, and I think if you want to go for a higher quality, you want that what they call audiophile, which I completely hate that term because it's anyway. So, do you want that
No, wait, 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 wait,
hi-fi
wait, wait,
audio
wait, wait.
experience?
Why do you
Yeah.
hate that term audiophile?
Okay. So, audiophile in itself, it used to be, you know, people that want the hi-fi sound, excellent quality, whatever, whatever. But record labels, promoters, whatever, turned that into a marketing thing where all of a sudden you have a 180-gram record and they just stamp on it, this is an audiophile pressing because it's 180 grams. But if you go back into how the record was produced, it's actually just from a CD or a digital format. So it's not really audiophile, but there's one thing that would make it audiophile, according to the marketers, that's 180 gram. And it it's not actually a better quality record than 140 gram, for example. So I think the term audiophile is overused by marketers. Um, so if you're talking about audiophile in the essence, the original essence of audiophile, like top notch sound, hi-fi, stereo, whatever, then sure, but not as a marketing term. That's kind of what I was going for.
Hi-fi.
Hi-fi.
All right. No,
um,
okay, good. I did not know that. That's thanks.
Yeah, now you know. So that's something you'd have to
Take it.
consider. Like,
Yeah,
for example, are you a 16-year-old just getting into the hobby? You're not 100% sure if you want to continue in this hobby, um, and you want to spend $150 on a turntable, then the quality is going to be less than, you had a hi-fi setup back in the 70s, traded it in for a CD system. Life got away from you. You didn't listen to
yeah,
records for a long time. You're getting back into it
right.
now, and you have disposable income. You can spend an easy $15,000 on a setup.
On a startup, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you know that you used to be able to get record players in vehicles? Did you know that? I just found
yeah,
that out
yeah,
today. That's
yeah. I think it
insane.
was it Dodge? There was a vehicle, a car company that had uh,
A
a
record player
turntable
in it.
under the dashboard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I,
There's I actually saw it on Joe Rogan. I was watching an
oh
episode
yeah,
and they were talking about like just kind of evolution, everything going on with COVID-19 and social media, like all like it was a rabbit hole. But they ended up talking about how when you could listen to CDs in a vehicle every time you'd hit a bump, your CD would skip, and how he was like happy that
yeah.
they fixed that technology, right? So that it wouldn't skip. They were talking about Discmans where they had that anti-skip thing in there. Like you remember all
Yeah.
that? And
Oh,
uh
I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
and then he was talking, I think it was Brendan Schaub, and I think the way it went was he was like, could you imagine like a record player in a vehicle or something like that? And then
yeah.
Rogan was like, they actually did, like, back in the day, and they found a picture of all Muhammad Ali, like changing a 45 in his record
Oh,
player, and
really?
it's something like that. I think if you Google it, you might be able to
Yeah,
find it real quick. But I was just like, holy
yeah,
shit, Mark, I got to tell you about that. It's
yeah.
insane.
No, I knew about it, but it's. I think
To
it was
me
only
that
for
doesn't make
a
sense.
couple years that they had that. Well, it's
You
the
would not be
way,
able to drive with that. There's no way.
especially on our roads.
No doubt.
No, but you have to remember that back in the day, the old sailboat type vehicles are big and smooth and comfortable, and you know there's less vibration in there. However, uh, that record player that was under that dashboard had some sort of,
Anti-skip.
I think, yeah, there was something like that, and I think it was a linear turntable too. So it's um, the needle drops, and then the mechanism just moves it to the side instead of the needle being traced or tracked in the groove. I'll have to. I'm gonna dig into that a little bit more how that worked, but I think the record itself was clamped in between something, and I think there was an immense amount of pressure on the needle to just keep it where it's supposed to be, which is
um,
not great for records. But
I feel like you can get one for like $150, but don't quote me on that.
and then what?
I don't know if you
Put it
just
in your
like that.
vehicle?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. But it was only for 7 inches, right? Like 45s.
I just saw that picture of Ollie. Like I'm gonna try and see
I
if I
think
can
so
find it,
because
but
a 12-inch record under a dashboard, that doesn't even fit in my vehicle, and I don't have a small vehicle.
I'm just typing in record player in car. Let's see if I can get some images or something. What do we got here? The in-car phonograph, the highway hi-fi record player.
High five.
Yeah, it's Ollie. There's one here with I think it's Paul McCartney. This
Can you
is
see if they're 7 inches or?
they're small.
Yeah, yeah, they're probably just the 7 inches.
Like isn't a 45 a 7 inch? Or am I way off?
Yeah,
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 that's what they are. Just the little ones. I don't know. Check it out. It's interesting.
yeah.
Anyways,
I'm gonna dig into the technology behind it a little bit too. See if see if it's still doable. Maybe
Right.
I'll no, I'm not. No. Just can you
Put one in
imagine
your
just
car.
sliding it in like yeah, just sliding it in like a CD player. Like that I mean, it should be possible.
I I can see if you're like a car collector, vintage car collector, it maybe
Yeah.
be you wouldn't want to put that in like a brand new Tesla or something. Like really, you know?
Yeah. Everything electric and digital except for the turntable.
And then yeah, exactly.
um so do you want me to keep going on the turntables? What to buy?
Well, I think I'm good for right now, to be honest.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need it in little pieces because if I get too overwhelmed, I'm gonna be like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
just
we can continue this next week.
yeah. Can blast me a little bit more information every week for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of
Yeah.
listener would you be if you if let's say you're seriously in the market for a record player, what would you how would you listen to your records?
Loud. I don't know.
Well,
Actually, no, I don't. It's hard
that's
to say.
obvious.
Right? Yeah. Like right now, the way like today, for example, like I was just kind of adding inventory, and I had some. I have some song or albums that are saved onto my PlayStation from like a long time
Hmm.
ago, and so
Yep.
I was rocking some of those out today too, pretty loud, like some Kid Rock, Methods of Mayhem. I had some Audio Slave going that I haven't
Yep.
listened to in quite a while, so I was definitely playing it loud. And then my son came and gave me shit and told me to turn it down, but which was pretty cute.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why, because he
He's not.
wanted me to play Minecraft or something, but I was just like,
Oh.
no, go back upstairs. But so like I don't know what. Ask me the question again. Rephrase the question. What do you mean? How would what kind of listener would I be? Like I like playing it
when
loud.
right, but would you for example, when I listen to music, uh it's usually when I'm working. My turntable is right over there. Right
Yeah.
there. I can point at it.
For those of you who
Um
are just listening, Mark's pointing over there with his lips. But
yeah. Um so yeah, this afternoon, for example, I was doing some marketing stuff, and I had um, what was playing? Oh, I had some Queen going, and after that, some Royal Blood, um, and that was all like I could have hit play on my computer here on Spotify, but I
right,
chose not to. You know, it's even if I'm not paying attention to the music, it's still the having to get up to flip the record. It's you're still interacting with the music more than because if I like 9 out of 10, well, 8 out of 10 times, for example, I do hit play on Spotify and just listen to background noise basically,
yeah,
especially when I'm trying to concentrate on something specific. Then it becomes background noise. For that's for example, I can't if I have to focus on something, I can't listen to a podcast because I get distracted. I can only do one thing at a time. But with music, um, if I have to focus on something, music actually helps me focus. But
right,
then there's the in between where I kind of have to focus, but it's not not a task that needs my full attention. That's when I put on a record because then I can still, listen to the whole album. I can still kind of memorize the order of the tracks that are coming, and kind of listen to the lyrics here and there. So that's how I listen to music.
do you find
So
that when you're listening,
now I'm gonna ask you again. How do you listen to music? Is that just blasting loud to drown out whatever's in your head and focus on a task, or
sometimes but not always. I mean, I definitely when I listen to music, I pick up emotion from from the music. Obviously, I feel it, right? So if it's
Hmm.
something more aggressive, like some metal or something, it's not that I'll get angry, but I'll feel like an adrenaline rush. I guess, right? I
Right.
get pumped up,
Yeah. Hmm.
maybe throughout a workout or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's why I turn to that. I like that rush, that adrenaline that it gives me.
Yeah.
So um,
That actually
but I
reminds me of
understand. Go ahead.
that actually reminds me of a question I had on Twitter yesterday. I asked a question to some of my tweeple. Like I was in the mood for some hip hop because I wanted something with a lot of bass, and I needed something different than what I usually listen to. And I know that's a foreign concept to you,
And
but
NWA.
nope. Because I added to my question. I don't want for
Gangster rap.
once. I don't want hip hop with profanity in it. See if the people were up for the challenge and see if they could find hip hop without profanity. And I
I
got quite a few good suggestions, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Okay. Well,
that
can I say the top three that I got in my head right now, and
NWA.
see if you got any of those answers, or see if I'm way off
Okay,
base. Public Enemy.
what I want to listen to?
No, what the answers were on your from your tweeple.
Oh, oh, you're not gonna guess.
It wasn't Public Enemy.
No,
Beastie Boys.
nope,
And actually, I mean, I don't know why, but Will Smith popped into my head, and I think that's because that's one of the albums on my PlayStation. But
no,
there's no profanity in Will Smith.
no.
But
Let me see if I can.
Naughty by
Yeah, but
Nature.
okay. So Will Smith, I love the guy, but is it? That's not the kind of hip hop I considered the hip hop I wanted yesterday. Let me see.
Let me ask you this: what did you end up playing?
I ended up playing. Oh, I have to go back in my Spotify here. History. But oh, my history is empty. Oh, my history is full of Pearl Jam right now because I listened to the Gigaton uh, album. Um, but let's go with a few of the suggestions here. Like there was Doe the Paperboy is an indie hip hop artist from LA, I believe.
Oh, see, there's
Um,
me going back retro again, and I bet you all your answers are like stuff
yeah,
today.
not it's all new. Like
Ah,
there's Stromae, Lecrae, some French hip hop, uh, Blue Scholars, Marvelous.
yeah, I don't know
Um,
any of these.
no, me neither. And that's oh, Run the Jewels, but uh, that does have it's called conscious rap, but there's still a lot of profanity in there. But I have their records. I like it. Just
Why
I
is
have
it
to be
called
careful
conscious
when I
rap? What
play
does
it
that mean?
because they're rapping about society and current events. So if you have the like the gangster rap is mostly about dudes in the hood
Yeah,
that are killing people or smoking dope or whatever.
police brutality and yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the conscious rap is more about um, they put a little bit more thought into their lyrics when it comes to the society in general.
Hmm. Like global warming.
That would be a topic. That
Interest.
would be a top, but not by Run the Jewels. Do you know Run the Jewels? You should know Run the Jewels.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna share some with you because I'm 100% sure you'll like it.
Okay,
Anyway,
interesting.
so yeah, that's kind of the suggestions I had, and I
Well,
listened to a
so
few, not all of it yet, but
So yeah, if any of your tweeple there are listening, that's the kind of information I give my boy Mark here when he's asking me, "Oh, what should I listen to today?" And I'm throwing stuff back to like late '80s, early
It always
'90s.
yeah.
But
And it's not that those are not good suggestions. It's just yeah, been there, done that. I don't. That's not what I'm looking for right now.
right, and then there was me today listening to well, what was that
Audio
kid?
slave.
Yeah, Audio Slave, that Kid Rock album that had Bawa Taba on it. I was playing some the Rob Zombie album with was it Hellbilly Deluxe? That album I think I was playing. Yeah.
Isn't that the country? That's like Brooks and Dunn or something.
No, Hellbilly Deluxe, not Hillbilly Deluxe, Hellbilly
Oh,
Deluxe.
Hellbilly.
Yeah. The one with Dragula, that album. What else
Sure.
was I
I,
listening to?
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not that much into that.
What else is on there? Yeah, it's such a variety. But anywho,
Anywho,
I think if
how
I
did we
was
get onto this topic?
I don't remember. I think we were talking about how do you listen to what kind of music
Oh, right,
listener are you?
right. Uh, yeah, that is not helpful actually.
No, not at all. So I
No.
wouldn't yeah. All
Right.
right,
So
moving on.
okay, well, maybe we'll revisit this when we're not recording or something because
yeah,
I have a feeling I'm gonna have to grill you a lot more to get out of you what you would actually need.
for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I would need a record player, wouldn't I? I got a
Well,
stack of old records here
that's how.
somewhere, but I
Yeah, but
think
that's how we got to this. How are you listening to records? What would you do? Are you gonna go for um,
okay,
a budget setup with headphones, or do you
no,
want more of the audio file? No, what?
I'm gonna go into like if right now if like money's no object, I'm going into it. I'm looking for sound quality, um,
Okay,
and yeah, it's more sound quality, and then I'm more concerned with the selection that I'm going to be purchasing. There's going to be like a method to my collection. It's not going to be just like all Metallica albums or something. You know what I mean? It's going to be kind of
right? Yeah, yeah. And
so
that's
I'd be
I think there a lot of collectors are they have there's method to their mayhem in their head.
yeah,
Um,
but it's
for
all mayhem.
example, I yeah, but I mean I'm yeah in your case.
Yeah,
But for example, I'm a Queen fan, so I want every Queen record. Period. And
yeah.
but then there are also Queen fans that want every pressing of every Queen record. I'm not going that far. I just want the record and either the reissue or an original pressing. There is one album that's A Day at the Races. That's the only album I have multiple copies of because that's the record that started my whole music life for me. So
So why have
that's just what
multiples of it?
sound
Like is
quality.
one
Uh
unopened or something?
no, they're all opened. I only have 3 or 4 copies, I believe. Um but one is a Canadian pressing, one is an original UK pressing, then there's one Japanese pressing because they were pressed in Japan and Japanese pressings tend to be better of a better quality. Um, they have a higher quality control than the rest of the world.
Like a higher audio
Um,
file?
hi-fi, yeah,
No,
yeah.
actually I can relate to that. That's like if you look at all the movies behind me, I think there's 4 or 5 copies of The Crow in here because I've got it
Hmm.
on Blu-ray, I've got it
Yeah,
on DVD, I've got it in like a set with The Crow 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like so, like that's
yeah,
my favorite movie. So yeah, I've got multiples
yeah.
of it. I get it.
That's exactly it. And but then I have, for example, I'm in a a raffle group, um, and you bid on items that you would not normally buy in a store, but because they're offered for cheap, it's like, meh, see what this is, and you throw a couple dollars at it, and then when you win, hey, you get a
Didn't you
cheap copy of a record.
you won something not that long ago, didn't you? Or am
I
I wrong?
did. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's that soundtrack of that movie.
yeah.
I'm
You
drawing a
seriously
blank.
don't remember it? Almost
Almost
famous.
famous. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was just good timing. How we were kind of on a 2 week rant about that movie, and you just watched it, and then all of a sudden you
Yeah,
won the album.
yeah.
It's meant
It was
to
weird,
be, meant
but
to
it's
be.
not opened yet.
Okay,
It's a purple record, but it's not opened yet.
right. Okay, so that's something that I have in my head too, and I've been giving it some thought. Is that if I started buying albums, I almost wouldn't want to open them. Like I could see myself purchasing records to
Yep,
just as a collector to just have them, but keep them in the plastic. Now,
yep.
is
And
that
there are
crazy?
actually no, there are actually a lot of collectors that do that. Some there. Okay, so some people have a play copy and a collection copy
Right.
of each record. So one is that the record that they play every time, and then there's one sealed copy that's
Yeah.
for archive, that's for later,
Yeah.
and when they pass away or when they decide to sell everything, that copy is sealed and that's worth more than the one that they
Yeah.
played.
I've got that.
So no, that's not
Yeah,
it's not crazy.
I have that with the last Playboy issue with nudity in it with Pam Anderson.
Right.
I've got two copies of it.
I have
One's opened and the other one is still like wrapped and
right.
stashed away.
Yeah.
You bet.
We actually have a whole year of Playboys here,
Are they
all sealed.
sealed? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
not mine. They're
Yeah, yeah.
Jeremy who
Yeah.
no no
Just throw
no
Jeremy under the
that's
bus.
no, no, it's actually the reason they're here is because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going to be
No, it's
selling
good.
them.
It's okay. It's okay. No, you're good. You're good. It's all good. Moving on.
Yeah. Ah, that bus was hard.
So tonight for I'm not sure who's viewing on YouTube, but we're trying a different what would you call that? Well, we're using Zoom this week for this week's episode. Last
Yes.
week we were
Yep.
using a different format, but
Mhm.
no real rhyme or reason on why we're switching, just kind of testing it out. There is a rhyme and
Well,
reason for it, but
there is a rhyme and reason. I can explain a little bit. The one we used last week was Jitsi or whatever. Um, the main reason is it's free and it saves the video to the cloud and straight into my Dropbox, which was great. But we tried it last week and the quality wasn't that great. The video quality, that is.
well, and
Um,
we had some issues at the end of it too there.
yeah, but that was mainly because my internet just stopped. That had nothing to do with Jitsi. But I mean, Zoom has the same option, which we're using now, also saves to the cloud. And because you are using it quite a bit, you're a fan of Zoom. Um,
Familiar, familiar with it for sure.
yeah, so we're trying that now, and so far so good. I mean, I can still see you and hear you, so
Right. And actually, can we not do a live episode through Zoom?
we can, yeah, yeah.
So,
I'm not sure how that works exactly, but I have a week to find that out, and maybe next week we'll go
yeah,
live.
yeah, we're thinking about it, and then if we do an episode live on broadcasting on YouTube or something, we can maybe take some questions or guest or something on the fly.
Yep.
So just we'll we'll probably blast something on Instagram or Twitter with an
Stay
update on that.
tuned.
Yeah, for sure. Check it.
Yep.
Keep an eye on the website too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's cool.
Yep.
A lot of
Uh,
COVID-19 shit going on in the news still, hey?
oh my God, yes.
It's so hard. Like when we started this, you guys, it was more to talk about events in the music in music industry that's going on throughout the week, and honestly,
Hmm.
it's hard to find anything worth talking about besides COVID-19. Like so,
Yeah.
um, we're doing the best that we can right now. We'll get better for sure. So, I mean, just go easy on us if we're like missing any important topics or anything like that. But you know what I'm getting at. There's like try you go on freaking Google or go online and try and find something that's relevant, not talking about COVID-19 in the music industry.
Yeah.
Like,
If you just type in music news in Google, um, I guarantee you the first, I don't know, 15 to 20 items that you can find are all about COVID-19
right.
or somewhat COVID-19 related.
Yeah, and we want
So,
to purposely make a point of not really addressing any of that because,
no,
yeah, like I don't want to hear that shit. That's not why I'm coming here.
no. I that said, I do have there is a list on the, I believe it's the NME website, of live Facebook live shows that bands are setting up. So that's kind of cool. And um, so not talking about COVID-19, but more about what comes after.
Right,
Um, what's her name? Grimes. She was talking about from now on, live music is going to be different.
Leanne Grimes.
Um,
Just kidding.
no.
High five.
High five. So yeah, she says I think live music is going to be obsolete soon. Um, and that has she also quotes it's kind of like Instagram or whatever. People are actually just gravitating towards the clean, finished, fake world. Everyone wants to be in a simulation. They don't actually want the real world, even if they think they do. And everyone's like, "Yeah, cool, live music." You actually look at the actual numbers of things. Everyone's gravitating towards the shimmery, perfected Photoshop world, and I
uh,
tend to somewhat agree with that.
I agree with you on the somewhat agreeing with her. Like I get what she's trying to say right now, but I think she's trying to
Yeah,
sound too artistic about it or whatever you want to call it. Like
yeah.
things are
I but
definitely like changing, right? Shit's not going to be the
yes, yeah,
same as it was before, without a doubt. Like
that's right.
let's like get our head out of our asses here. Like it's not going back to the way that it was. Things are going
No.
to be different. So that being said, I get what she's saying. Like about think of like a 20,000 seater, you know, like some like a stadium show, the Rolling Stones and it's filling a stadium.
Hmm.
That's not going to happen. You're never going to see
Yeah.
that again. That's my opinion. I could very well be wrong. I can see it more likely that the bands are going to do, like you said, they're going to be doing some kind of online show, and you can
Hmm.
watch them maybe from the comfort of your own home or something, as opposed to going out to see them. Like Metallica's
Do you
doing
think
it.
a show do you think a show like, for example, Woodstock ish, you know, that type, Glastonbury, those massive festivals, is that going to be dead?
Yeah, I think so. Man, there's so many people that are just. Uh, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say it. Like helicopter children, right? Do you know what I mean? Where the parents are
No.
helicopter like protecting them too
Oh,
much, like
yeah. Yeah,
babying their
yeah.
kids and stuff like that. So that
Yeah.
generation of people coming up where they get offended if you look at them the wrong way and then they want to like press charges against you and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
that kind of that upbringing and everything, and then with all the crap that's happening in the world today, those two things
Hmm.
combined is I feel is gonna like wipe out the like concerts and festivals like that. It's gonna be just so
Yeah.
different. Like
And I think those overprotective uh parents are going to be like, "See, told you. You're going to get sick."
yeah, yeah. It's just gonna like I don't know what's gonna come of it. But that's
Nobody
why
knows.
yeah,
Nobody knows what's going to come.
That's what I mean, how it's never gonna be the same. Like, look at a movie
No.
theater, actors and stuff like that,
Yep.
comedians doing their theater shows and stuff, like,
Yep.
that's all of that's on hold. Movies are getting release dates are pushed back already. Like, what's gonna
Yep.
happen? Are they gonna just have to, you know, instead of, having 200 people in the theater, only have 100 and you can only sit, like, every second seat is open for social
Yep.
distancing or something, you know what I'm saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
who knows? But
Um, but I did see, and I didn't actually read it, but I saw the headline that Warner, so the music label Warner, um, is actually doing very well right now because they didn't push back any dates. So there is an album by one of their artists, and I don't remember who. I should have looked this up better. But there is one of their artists that released a new album in the middle of this whole COVID-19 thing,
right,
and it didn't seem to slow down.
yeah. If
So,
it's actually almost brilliant to do that, right? Because this is when people are at home and this they have the time
yep,
to listen to it. They're not doing
yep,
anything. That's like, yeah,
yep.
that's exactly it.
And they would be the only one to release new music because nobody else is now.
That's you know what? That's a great point. That's like I said, movies are getting release dates are getting pushed back. Like that is
Yeah.
almost not wise to do. If like they should, do a deal with Netflix or Hulu or whatever to get that movie released because everybody's at home. I feel like you'd be able to branch it out to more
But
people.
I think that I think that Hollywood is more because of the finishing of the movie. Because if you have a movie, you have like what 500 to 1,000 or 1,500 people working on a set to get this movie finished. And I think with the whole social distancing thing, I think that's where
Well, there's yeah, no,
the
there's
movie is being put on hold.
right, there's that part of it too. I think it's both of those things because like didn't the new James Bond movie was supposed to be released like any day now and that got pushed to
Yeah,
September or something because like
but that movie's
people
finished, right?
yeah, but like people can't go out to the theater and
Yeah.
watch it. So if they release it, the box office is where they make their money, right? So if nobody
Yeah,
can go
but
to the theater to watch it, they're not going to make any money. So they would
okay,
be
so
better off.
which label or which studio is it with? With MGM or something? No,
Um,
MGM doesn't exist anymore.
I couldn't.
Fox, whatever. 20th Century Fox. Name one. Why wouldn't they release the movie for like 10, 15 bucks online?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
do it
then
themselves.
the yeah, because the people at home they'll buy it. I mean, if you're a James Bond fan, 15 bucks for a movie, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, you know what? And I
And it
feel like that's what's gonna end up like. There's gonna be a big shift. Like something like that's gonna happen. I mean, Disney kind of
yep,
already did that. They got their Disney Plus now, and they can release all their own stuff. Do you remember when that movie, The Interview? Do you ever see that with James Franco and Seth Rogen?
yes.
And it
Yep.
caused all that
Ch-
like almost started a
China
freaking world war.
China was upset.
Yeah. Now it didn't go. They released it through Netflix, right? And
Mhm.
they obviously made some money on it. But I mean,
Yep.
maybe doing that. I guess it's the times could just be less of a headache. It's like okay, we have this product. It's finished, and we just want it out there for the world to see. And then you've got a platform like Netflix that can distribute it broadly, right?
Right.
Whereas if that's not your business doing it, and
Yeah.
you want that product out instead of having to spend hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure or whatever that word is, you know what I'm saying, to get the people to be able to do that and distribute it, it's already done there, so just do a deal with Netflix, they can do it.
True, but even doing it yourself isn't that hard. Like if you have a deal with Amazon, you have storage with Amazon or Google or whoever has storage online, you can release
Yeah,
you build an e-commerce store, it's not that hard.
right.
Like sure, it'll take some hours and it takes some expertise, but it's not going to take hundreds of millions of dollars or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's I don't know. That's what I would do
Yeah.
if
Well,
I
and
were a movie studio.
right. Well,
And
but that
like it,
also goes for music too, though.
yeah,
You know, like the like bands not being able to play in studios and arenas and or not studios, but I
that's
mean
right.
arenas and theaters and shows and stuff. Like, didn't you say
Yeah,
you just watched one not that long ago? Like, I blasted you a song on the
yeah.
radio that I hadn't heard in a
Uh,
long time, and you
Bare
said you
Naked
just
Ladies.
yeah, and you said you just saw them, right?
Yeah, they did a live show, and I'm not sure if they did it through Zoom or Facebook or whatever the platform was, but it was released. Well, it was a live show on Facebook, and
Yeah,
because they were all doing it from their home, it wasn't like super hi-fi, high quality sound, because they were just sitting in front of their laptops, you know. But I mean, if you produce that, so when everybody gets together again, when everybody can touch each other again, whatever, that like go into a studio, record it as you that and that's we talked about this in episode 5, I believe, where Jeremy and I were talking about doing acoustic sessions of these bands that we want to release the music videos
yeah.
for. You can turn this into a live thing because
Like
it's not that hard. You take a few cameras, you set them up. You don't even need cameramen or women. You set them up, you live stream it to Facebook or YouTube or whatever streaming platform,
or all of the
and you
above,
can, or all of the above if you want to do it free. Now you can also, well, you can do it. You can give it as a live, a free live performance where everybody can just join and watch, and people can donate if they want. But it's not that hard to put it behind a paywall, you know, where people buy a ticket to get in and watch the show. It's
yeah,
it's very possible.
right. Like MTV Unplugged. Then you release an album of it.
Right. MTV Unplugged is highly produced, and I don't think you would be able to do it. Well, yeah, you could, I guess. If you're a studio, you can do that and do it live.
Something like that, though, right? Like having,
Yeah,
let's say you
yeah,
have, yeah, yeah, you get it. And I agree. I see a lot of that happening in the near future,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Me too. Yep. I was trying to look for that release from Warner, but I don't know what to Google.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Me neither. Meh.
No, I. So yeah, that's kind of my
Your
take on
your
that.
take
And
on it?
yeah, but yeah, everything is gonna change for sure.
Would you have? What do you think is going to happen with Chesterfest this summer?
I actually talked to Kayana and Joel. They are planning as if it were going ahead,
Right.
because it's easier to cancel than to last minute tell bands, okay, we're still open, come on over. So they're kind of, you know, planning as if it were still a go. And then
They'll deal with it when the
if it
time
gets
comes.
canceled, yeah, exactly. If it gets canceled, it's because the government says, okay, you need to shut this down, or you know, we still need to distance each other,
Yeah.
or we,
The
you
government
know,
just
whatever the rules is now.
recently shut down the UFC. Hey, they were going to go ahead and do the UFC
Yeah,
this weekend. It was supposed to be. Gotcha. Like Dana
yeah,
White, like I don't know, he was going to do it on like reservation land, something
hmm,
to avoid whatever laws, and then it ended up being he like was going to go do it on his own, like buy an island and do it on his own island or something. Like,
yeah,
but the government stepped in and was like, no, you can't do this, which is really
yeah.
interesting. But yeah,
Buying an island for well, well, must be nice to have a little bit of money.
no doubt, no doubt. But the reason for it being like, can you tell I watch Joe Rogan? But the reason for it was because like a guy like Dana White's got to fill in his contracts, right? You sign a contract saying I'm going to release
Mhm.
like 150 main event fights throughout the year, so
Yeah,
he's got to fulfill that, and because of all this he can't do it, so he's losing out on a lot of money, obviously, right? So he's just
right.
trying to find a way
But
to keep all his people happy and make
yeah,
money.
but I mean, this is also one of those things that nobody, absolutely nobody, had this in mind ever,
Right.
right? So I don't know, and actually that's also kind of where what Chesterfest is. I mean, that's not the reason, but if for example the government says, okay, you can't do a music festival right now, then it would be easier for the organizers to go to the bands and say, you know what, the government says that we can't do this,
Right.
so we would like our deposit back.
Yeah.
You know, and if it were the organizers being like, well, let's not do this, even though the government says, you can go ahead, then the bands might go, well, you know what, you gave us this deposit, we planned for it, you're not getting it back.
Yeah.
So it's all a little bit of politics and a little bit of common sense, and I don't know. It's so far it's still a go, but I honestly don't see it happening this year.
Yeah. Crazy times we're living in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
dig music.
I dig music. Can you please
What
go the fuck away?
what else you got, Mark? I found I
uh,
found some things, but it's all like nothing too crazy. Do you watch that show Hot
it's
Ones,
sometimes
where the celebrities,
depends on the depends on the guest.
right? Justin Timberlake was on just recently, the last episode. I didn't watch it
You're a
yet though.
JT fan, are
I got nothing against the dude. I really don't.
I
More
watched.
a fan
I
of
watched.
his singles, like since he left the group or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, I actually watched an interview with him and Anna Kendrick on the BBC Radio something or other. They're
The
promoting their new Trolls 2 movie,
Right. Was it the Kelly
and
Clarkson thing? Because
no,
they were on that too.
it was an unpopular opinion or something, where it's a segment that the DJ has, um, and then he sings something stupid, and then the caller comes in with an unpopular opinion, and then the two guests, so in this case JT and Anna Kendrick, had to give their response to that, and it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's
He's
I'm not gonna be like, oh, you gotta watch this, but it was funny.
Well, he definitely, I think I started liking him or becoming a fan of his was after that movie Alpha Dog. I think it was around that time. I was like, there's something with this guy. Obviously, there was something with him before that
Alpha
because
Dog.
such a crazy movie, but he did good in there.
There was
And
also a movie with him, time something or other, where they ran out of time,
oh
like
yeah,
you
yeah,
had a timer on your wrist or something,
yeah. Wasn't Jessica Biel in that movie too? That's around they got the time they got married, I think.
right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then he's
that's that.
also so good in that Mike Myers movie, The Love Guru. He's like the French
Yeah,
horny dude. Like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh man, he's funny. He's
I
talented.
I like
He's
him.
talented. I
I
like him
like
too.
him. Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
good. All his skits on
Too bad he
Saturday
was in a
Night
boy
Live.
band.
Yeah.
Oh, but this might be a topic, a whole other topic for later, maybe. But those people like Ariana Grande, she can sing.
Yeah.
Too bad she sings shitty music.
Do you ever hear her do impressions?
Yeah,
Like on
she does a
Jimmy
mean
Fallon or
Celine Dion.
yeah. Yeah, she's talented too. She's pretty and
Yeah,
talented. That's for sure. There was a
and pretty
thing
talented.
on Twitter. She's been recreating scenes from The Waterboy. I'm assuming that's her favorite movie. But
Okay,
she plays Bobby Boucher, and then she like, I don't know. It's almost like a TikTok. Maybe it was on TikTok. I don't know. I saw
I thought it was. I thought it was Instagram.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I watched it, but she was just playing
Cool.
Bobby Boucher. That was it.
Yeah. So this is all the news we have, I guess.
Yeah, this is the
All
kind
that
of stuff we're finding
meh
that
kind of
is
stuff.
not
Yeah.
related to COVID.
No.
Um,
So
how what do
if
you
you
think
if
of?
you're still listening, if you're still listening at this point, um, and you have topics that we should talk about, do let us know and we'll dig into it. And then we'll make something out of it.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
actually posted it this afternoon on our social streams, and I got some feedback, um, which is great. But I didn't have enough time to actually dig into it, so we can make it an episode. So I'll save it
What?
for next week.
What do you got? Let me hear it.
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot because I
I am.
don't have that screen open.
Well, open it
Okay,
up.
you talk and I'll look it up.
Right.
You
As
got to
I
say
burp.
something now.
Um. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mark is looking that up.
Hmm.
I was still thinking of Justin Timberlake, like that line from Love Guru where he's like, "Don't look at me in that tone of voice, or I'll punch you in the shirt." I love it. That and
Okay.
the
And the mean
yeah.
while you say that, I found two things. Jennifer was saying that she watched Amy, a documentary about Amy Winehouse. So maybe we can talk about some documentaries on Netflix or wherever about musicians. Um, then there was also on Netflix, no, Instagram, where someone suggested that we would talk about.
Hey,
Give me
I
two
feel like
seconds.
I recently heard something about that Amy Winehouse documentary about how awesome it was.
Yeah, I was about to watch it, and I watched the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, and I believe I had to turn it off because my kids were walking around, and there was quite a bit of swearing in that first part.
Oh my god.
I think something like that. But anyway, so that's it's still on my list.
My little dude
Um.
dropped an F bomb yesterday or today.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
he was repeating after me. I did
Oh,
not.
so it was not.
No, I
Was it
said
not in context?
no. I said something like, "What the hell did I say?" I don't remember. I was trying to do something, and I was like that he had maybe do up his jacket, and I was like, "Oh, this fucking zipper" or something on the lines like that. And he was like, "Why? What's with this fucking zipper?" And I didn't even adjust it. I was just like, "Oh," like pretended like nothing. I was just like, "Oh, it's stuck" or whatever I said. I didn't
Yeah,
adjust
yeah,
it because
yeah,
I didn't want him to know that he said something he shouldn't have. Because he'll
yeah,
never
yeah,
say it again. The only reason he said it is because I had just said it. So if I'm
yeah,
like, "Don't use
yeah,
that
yeah.
word," or like I can't do that, I just said it myself. Why would I give him shit about it,
Then
right?
it's like, hee, that's it. That's a
Yeah,
bad word. I'm gonna use that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
So on Instagram, Nick suggests the decline of Pearl Jam and the rise of the Eddie Vedder show. It's a controversial statement, especially with the latest album coming out. Uh,
well,
Someone say no to Neil Young. I
we
agree.
we
I hate
kind
Neil
of
Young.
did talk about Pearl Jam a few episodes ago when they came out with that video, and we were
Right,
just like,
but
"Oh my god, like this
but
isn't
now
the
the album is out,
yeah." I'll
and
be
so
honest,
he also
I'm never gonna listen to that album. I just if I'm gonna listen to
I s-
Pearl Jam, it's gonna be like the album 10 from like the 90s,
10.
dude.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
that's to me that's Pearl Jam.
Okay, so this next suggestion then, current great Canadian bands is not going to apply to you then.
The Trues.
Um, okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Then who are people listening to during the pandemic? We already decided that we're not talking about the pandemic. So
Well, who
then there's Tom
wait.
Cochran.
No, that's not really talking about the pandemic. That's talking about who are you listening to in the pandemic. Who'd you listen to today?
Right.
Some
Queen and Royal Blood. But I mean that would be stuff that I would listen to either way.
yeah,
I don't need a pandemic to listen to Queen or Royal Blood.
but
And you know what? I
what?
what I just realized? Queen, Royal Blood.
You're tick-tarded, you. Um No,
And
but
then
I see what you're
okay,
saying.
so
I know what
then
you're
there's
saying.
also uh, Byron is saying, I would like some discussion on which remasters are better than the original releases, which ones are far worse. With the new complexion in the world, music market, even playing field, or. Huh? Oh, will this new complexion in the world, music market, even the playing field for struggling independent labels?
So we were kind of talking about, sort of addressing that, I guess, a little bit. Talking about like,
Yeah.
you know, releasing their product out to the world, and you were saying how
Yeah.
it's
I don't
relatively
I don't
easy.
think I don't think independent labels are gonna have a huge problem. I mean, it's they just have to find other ways to get the music out. But I do think that record stores are going to be struggling, like the brick and mortar down the street from Grandpa record store type thing,
Right.
because there's not a lot of not a lot of money in records, especially if you do it with a lot of overhead, like a store. Um, so yeah, those guys, and I don't want to be in their shoes, even though I run a record store. I think I have it a little bit easier because my market is bigger than uh,
Yeah.
just the people in that city.
Right.
But yeah, the record stores are going to be struggling. The record labels, I think, not so much. So yeah, but those are suggestions that we got today. So we can add that to next week. And maybe if people have more suggestions for next week, we would love to hear them.
Yeah, that's, thank you guys. Definitely pump us with questions or stuff you want us to talk about or get our opinion on. Like I said, we
Yeah,
might be doing a live episode relatively quick. If we are, maybe we can, get one of you guys on the Zoom call and talk to you
yeah.
live streaming or something. See what you.
Almost like a radio show.
Yeah, I'm all for
Yeah,
it. That'd be fun.
cool. Yep. Okay, I think on that note, we'll just shut her down and make sure to follow us on. Okay, so I think I have a list in my head now. So follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the podcast is on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher.
Yeah, do you guys get all that? Because I still don't know it.
No,
That's awesome
but
though.
yeah. So whatever, or just go to the website and click on media, and then click on the sit down podcast. That's where you can see and hear us.
Yeah, you bet. Right on. Thanks for
Any fi-
listening, everybody.
eh, I was
Any
just about to say, any final words?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, that's okay. I guess that was the final words. And stay safe. Touch your face like the groove on a record. Don't
Yeah,
touch.
yeah. Wash your hands.
Yep. Spin some records.
There you go.
See you next week.
Bye. Ciao.